Alrighty, well, we're starting to set up the electrical, so just a few questions came in mind. They put the symbol for the fan just here, and does that mean we specifically want the fan here? It's a fine spot, or is that just that it was drawn there and we actually want it somewhere else? The next question is, we have a single outlet here. I didn't know if we wanted one on either side. These wall sconces, we know exactly where they're supposed to be. The switch for them is simply drawn with the circles. Are the switches a predetermined per this diagram exactly that distance? Or is that switch, just over this? Or how many inches basically from the wall sconce over is that switch? Let's see. Did we want two motion sensing lights out here? One here and then one here. I do know that motion sensing lights don't work very well when you're coming straight at them. And so it'll be a little difficult if we're walking this way for a motion sensing light that's aimed that way to see you walking. Whereas, I don't know if I'm just tossing stuff out. If we had one over here and you walked across its field of vision, it would see you more than coming at it. Didn't know if that mattered. Just triple checking that this is a single switch for the fan, and then the light that's part of the fan is actually the three-way switch. The LED lights, or rope light, or whatever these on top of the beam lights are, we need to find out what your architect has in mind or what you found online. The electrician knows of some different versions, and the ones he knows of take transformers, and then those transformers end up having to be like hidden in the attic space up above here, and then wires run to them. So if they're a different type of version, or they're LED, or they're this or that, we need to know pretty quickly what it is we're putting up here, so then we can install it or prep to install it correctly. This GFI right here by the sink, the electrician suggested we move it over, in that you don't want an outlet right over your sink. The tendency will be to plug in an extension cord and have it go right over the water. And so he was suggesting, unless there's a reason not to, that he always puts them just out of the way of the sink for safety. Same question on this fan. Is the fan just drawn there, or do we want to, we measure it out and put the fan exactly there? This electrical outlet that runs the washing machine, is there also an electrical outlet above the countertop at this point? Because this one, of course, will be above the countertop. This electrical, I guess, is above the countertop. I think we already talked about that. And then they'll have both the 220 for the dryer, and we'll also plumb the dryer for natural gas. Because we're no longer having the bench seat here, we can put electrical down here anywhere we want. If we want, this one can be moved, and then that satisfies the 6-foot rule. Or let's leave it here and add another one somewhere along here. If we did that, or if we move this one, same question comes up. Well, if we move this one to here or something, then do we want it to also have an outlet on the other side, which would be, an exterior one? And or if there was an outlet here, or here, whatever we did, would we want it to also go to the outside? So you have some exterior, electric along here. Same question is on any of these. Do we also want it to, pop through or something somewhere, anything to provide circuits to the outside? And that is all the little questions for now. Oh yeah, when you open up any of these doors, do you want a light to automatically come on inside here? And then likewise in here, do you want a light to come on inside? they've got those little switches. I think you were telling us about them that just are part of the hinge. So you open the hinge, boom, a light comes on. The other question that came up is on these two fans. Which products exactly do you want? Unless you had a specific one you found that you really like, the electrician just casually mentioned to look online for Broan or NuTone. But there's lots of companies with lots of great innovative fans. And so, but we need to know which one we want to put in, fairly soon. The wall sconces, all the words that have been used have been talking about this, the box. Do you specifically want a rectangular shaped electrical outlet up on the wall for the wall sconce to mount to? Because the electrician, when he was like, oh, you put a round one in. Well, I'm not taking anything for granted. Is that a round electrical box, or is it a rectangular electrical box? And that'd be true for these wall sconces here also. Do we know the width of the door casing here? When we mount this box, the box will have a switch plate around it, and then, how close does that switch plate come to the molding around the door, and how wide is that molding? We can put this anywhere we want. It's just we don't want to end up mounting it, drywalling it, installing the door, and then put in some trim and go, oh, that looks stupid. So we just kind of wanted a little input on that. Likewise, you don't want to walk through the door and have to reach way over and wonder why you're reaching so far for switches. Were this ever to get built in as a built-in closet, the smoke detector, unless the closet did not go all the way to the ceiling, the smoke detector wouldn't want to be in a closet. So do we just plan on relocating the smoke detector if need be in the future? Or do we plan that this could be a closet, really could be a closet, and therefore we'll want to stick the smoke detector somewhere else? If so, do we leave that to the electrician's suggestions, or do you guys have a specific? And I have to ask, does this smoke detector have to be the kind that wires in? All the new codes have them all linked together and all that, and most likely we'll end up having to do that. It's showing only one circuit here that feeds the lights and the fan. According to the code, you have to have a separate circuit. I think they mean a separate switch for the fan and the light. So we probably want that anyway. If you walk out the room and turn the light off, we might want this fan to run on a timer for a little bit longer to sort of ventilate the Forbesness of any Beano failure. But he was saying something about the code has to have separate circuits for the light and the bath fan. And I think that meant separate switches.